I built a simple stacked 16 village iron farm that produces a stack of iron ingots every minute. Stick around and I'll show you exactly how to build this. Each layer is independent, so you can start with one and add more as you feel like it. We're in this rather desolate place. Because we're on simulation 6, we need to go up 126 blocks to make sure that nothing is going to spawn. Easiest way is to just put down 2 whole stacks of scaffolding. Here we are. So I'm going to start by outlining the outside of this chunk. That's going to form the basis for the iron farms, because there's going to be 4, 1 on each one. This is Ravenman Hatter's technical resource pack, but I later switched to using Foxy No-Tail's pack just because it was easier for this. So we are marking out all the different chunks for this. Each village is going to be contained within a chunk. So it's important to put down lights as you go. And I'm following the exact same pattern on each one just because I like the way that it looks. You do it however you want to do it. I'm building this with smooth stone, smooth quartz, verdant froglights, and regular glass. So these are going to be the floor where the villagers are going to live. Each of these platforms is an entire chunk, and so the gap in the middle is another chunk. I'm putting a 2-high wall of glass around each of these platforms to contain the villagers. And let's go grab some villagers from a sort of nearby village. Put down some beds, establish. This is the most rudimentary village breeder I've ever built. And now we've got to make a place to put all the beds. So we need 20 beds for each of these villages. So we have 4 in the center facing one way, 4 in the center facing the other way. 2 layers of each of those. And then 2 beds on either side, with the pillows facing in. Time to grab those villagers. And there was a weird bug where the villager wouldn't join in. Anyway. So this first one, you don't need to move them along. There's easier ways of getting them out of the boat. With this first one, you don't need to move them along a platform. You can just pull them straight in. This is the last time it's going to be easy. So just jump in, throw him in, get rid of the boat, and go grab the other one who didn't want to jump in. So I threw him a stack of bread, and it's very important that this part here, this is where the villagers are going to go, it's very important that that is 2 high. 2 blocks high. Otherwise, the villagers, when you break them out of the minecart, which I'll show you later, they will actually pop up on top of the blocks. It's very frustrating if you don't know that one. That was a bit of a mistake there. So we're building what will be the killing platform for the iron golems. Now this glass goes around the outside as opposed to the one on the first layer, which goes on top of the one. So we'll fill in these, put some trapdoors across the top. This is going to contain the villagers. So this is my villager locking method. So we get a villager. I'm using Fletchers just because that's what I decided to do. If you wanted to make this trading, I guess you could do whatever at this point, but you would make sure to do it now. So we lock them in, make sure that there's 2 blocks above them and they're fully contained. And then we just go and repeat that a whole bunch of times, 10 times to be exact. You kind of get into a rhythm with this and you just work your way through. So you put down the block, wait for the stars, and then break them out of the minecart to go again. So now we're at the end, the last one, and it's okay to have extra villagers because sometimes they do silly things. Last one in, break out this block. Break the minecart. Grab it if you can, but honestly, you're getting so much iron that it doesn't really matter. And then take out any excess villagers. So then we come under this part that we've marked before and then break it out. Reason we don't do that before is so that none of the villagers suffocate. So then we put fence posts. This is going to contain our lava blades. So we go one beyond at the top, open all the fence gates, and then one to the side. Can be a little annoying with these big golems in the way. Then put down some water, grab 2 water buckets. That's sort of a infinite water source. Then we want water in both of these. That pushes all the water into the center. I'm doing this just so I can get to the far side. So you want one in from the corner on each side. That makes sure that the lava covers the entire thing. Any closed gates, make sure that you open them back up. And then water on the corner and then right the way through on all the blocks. On the side, both sides, and also on the back. Make sure that it's all flowing nicely. Because we have the 3 blocks like that, we can go right to the corner without accidentally creating an infinite lake. So just for now, I'm putting in some temporary catching storage. And now it's time to stack our, well, second village, but the first time that we've stacked. So I'm doing this during, well, I knew night was coming and no one else was on, so I knew I was going to be fine to do this during the night. So I'll show one sequence, full sequence of doing it at night, and then I'll show one during the day. You can probably go further with each one, but honestly, it kind of is, it's fun, I think. I enjoy stacking villages. Just make sure that you always get green particles. Close this up. Took an entire night to move that distance, but that's just how it works sometimes. From a bunch of bread. And the exact same setup for each of these. I did different colored beds, so all the beds were on, say, the west side. All the blue beds were all on, say, the west side, and then the reds on the other, and so on and so forth. So I built this to be modular so that I didn't have to redesign every single time and make sure that things were in place. It's basically, I created a one chunk iron farm. So whatever you do, make sure it is one chunk. I mean, you can probably do more and maximize it slightly, but it's easier to just do it with one chunk. That way you don't have to double think. Then glass around the outside. Later on, I'll show a long shot so you can see kind of a bird's eye view. So if you don't get it from this one, then watch the later section and you'll see exactly how it's done from a different perspective, which may help. Hopefully I'm explaining things properly. Don't worry, I'm not going to show stacking all the villages. And through the magic of editing, we have another more village with all the villagers locked in. Amazing. Be careful doing that. One time I broke the block underneath that guy. It wasn't fun. So now let's do the village stack. So that's the way to get them up onto the platform. let's do the village stack during the day. This is the third village, the orange village. So you can see I am going bed, then workstation, bed, then workstation. Probably should have put this path a little, one block higher, but the reason for that path is so that the villagers don't jump up on top of the workstation and jump out. And I'm using barrels just because I had some planks lying around. So exactly the same situation for this. Stack them, lock them in place. Bye-bye. Now we've got 3 villages stacked. And as you can see, we are getting golems at the same time in all 3 villages. So the last village was the purple village. Let's finish this off real quick. Wish beds would stack. Make my life so much easier. And with that, we have an entire level done. And now starting on the next layer. When you add a new layer, leave a 5 block gap above the glass of the golem killing layer, then do the floor of the next level on the 6th block up. This makes sure that the golems spawn on the correct level and your villagers don't clash or merge. And I've run out of lava again. We'll come back to the collection system that I set up. I built this hub. I don't think I've shown you guys this before. Just experimenting with different shapes. Let's grab this lava real quick and head back to it. So you'll often have a golem kind of stuck in there as you're building this. Just put down the lava somewhere else, get rid of him, and then put it in the right spot. I mean, the right spot if you're pedantic about making sure things look the same, which I am. Now we've got these drop chutes and they go down into the collection area. The drop chutes all connect into each other and go into water streams that go past some item filters. Now let's get a long shot of this whole thing being built. So remember to leave a 5 block gap between the glass of the golem killing chamber and the floor. So this goes out 100 blocks. And I'm creating the village establishment area just so that I can bring everyone into the areas that they're supposed to go. You kind of get into a rhythm. So it's okay for them to all be unlocked like this. They're not going to merge. So for most of these, I didn't let them all run free. I just wanted to shoot this one this way, just so that I could show that you can actually do it like this. It's a little bit more efficient, I guess. And we just funnel everything into the center. That golem raced off. I took him out later. And this was this was shot in one take so that you can, I mean, obviously I've sped it up, but you can see exactly the process, and it gets a little bit annoying when they're all standing around watching. You want to make sure that the babies have all grown up so that you don't have to deal with them running around, because they knock the villagers out of place and it's kind of annoying. So then I built these pipes using acacia trapdoors. Was fun, giving it a sort of industrial vibe, I guess. And I found that you want to make sure that you actually do enclose all of these drop chutes. If you don't, sometimes things fly out or they get stuck on lower levels, which is annoying. So then I just built this simple thing so that it went around a corner with the water and down into the drop chute. And doing it this way, as you add later levels, you just take off the top and continue up. Best way of building these pipes is to jump crouch and place the trapdoor, and then when you go back down, just closing the trapdoors allows you to go. Make sure you put copper rods around just so that you don't accidentally get witches. That would be unfortunate. So you can see I'm getting golems on all levels, and I'm getting them in each of the modules at the same time. This was a lot of fun to make. Highly recommend it.